Greetings from my lovely twin soul and myself. I am Russ Hatfield, and behind my shoulder is a higher dimensional member of Ashtar Command and my better half, Kara. Our editorial for December is called AT&T, Atlantean Telecommunications and Teleportation, and it is a companion editorial that goes along with this month's channeling session. We cover the history of pyramids and their power with the help of Ashtar himself. Drawing on years' recordings and what we have learned already, we add this new information from the latest channeling session to discover we haven't even begun to scratch the surface of what there is to know about the power of pyramids. For a full transcript of this latest editorial, please go to our main homepage at hadespacenews.com. We invite you to subscribe to be kept informed of future postings on our YouTube channel from the members of Ashtar Command. Now we present AT&T, Atlantean Telecommunications and Teleportation. We are not the most advanced race of people to inhabit this planet. That honor goes to the Atlanteans, though we are not far behind. In the beginning, Atlantis was colonized by 7 races who had come from the planet Sirius looking to initiate a paradise on a new planet away from the division they had left. At the height of its power, tens of thousands of years later, the continent of Atlantis had everything as far as society could ask for, but lacked some resources only found on the other continents. Having anti-gravity technology allowed access to places where those resources could be mined and brought back, or exotic delicacies to entice the palates of those in the capital. At this time, ships from Sirius still were arriving with colonists and supplies, while returning with those going back home and items available only on Earth. Contact with Atlantis from them and Atlantis back to Sirius was essential, so a plan was devised to maintain communications with the outlying settlements and the homeworld. Thus was born Atlantean Telecommunications and Teleportation. One would think such a project could only last as long as its builders, and they would be right. We as a race inherited those pyramids and places of power as the descendants of the progenitors of the human race. The challenges of that legacy is relearning how to access the power and the potential without causing the same outcome as before. The project managers back then decided on a 2-step solution to the problem by determining that they needed both direct and indirect means by way of reaching those far-flung locations. Powered by crystals, which also facilitated that link, a remote communication center could either link back to the source or act instead as a cell tower where information could only be received and not sent. The 2 types differed markedly in the construction and could be distinguished between pyramids for those direct communications or crystals embedded into secret caves in key places that acted as cell towers for those just needing instructions and news. Connecting everything was a worldwide array of ley lines that carried the information along the ground to where it needed to go. This month's channeling session for the month of December provides examples of both types of communication. As confirmed by Ashtar, pyramids built on the same angles as the Great Pyramid still can act as communication devices. With the right materials and power supply, teleportation is one of the pyramid's functions. Corton, on the other hand, discusses stories of the existence of a cave containing a crystal statue of a woman with a rotating crystal at her feet in Southern California. I have personally stood above the supposed site, and I can attest that there are some strange energies that can be felt in the area. The apocalypse that was the destruction of Atlantis affected the entire communication system. For the survivors who were not on Atlantis, at the end it meant that there was no longer contact with the other races, and the technology they relied on no longer operated. There were no way back to Sirius after so long, since contact and trade had stopped long before, so the survivors began new lives wherever they already were until the interchanges with the local inhabitants merged their DNA in endless ways. Their legacy is our ability to continue the study of pyramid power and whether it has a place in helping mankind on its ascension path. The physical effects that take place within a correctly aligned pyramid on the same dimensions of the Great Pyramid have been well documented, so let's review just what takes place in such a pyramid. Experiments have demonstrated their ability to maintain the sharpness of razor blades, keep milk from curdling without refrigeration, and dehydrate food left in it instead of it decaying and growing mold. Those and many more examples are attributed to the power of pyramids, and they are just the physical effects. That is a science that defies science as it stands today, and as such needs a new breed of scientists who are ready to open their minds to the incredible potential that still is yet to be fully tapped. Could we make such an ancient technology new once more? That will be up to those ready to see the power at work for themselves. So what is the status of Atlantean telecommunication and teleportation these days? It is a pale shadow of its former glory days, but this is not to say it is no longer in operation. It is still a collection device for higher dimensional energy. It is also a communication device for those of a higher dimension to those of the third. Meditation within the pyramid is the key to unlocking the connection. Crystals and pyramids can be used to enhance that connection or supply extra power to the task at hand. Then there are the past lives. How many people alive today were there when AT&T was the cornerstone for communication in Atlantis? How many more are incarnating at this time because the technology is so familiar to times long past? The ability to communicate across the planet was the purpose of the network connecting all of the 7 races and their extended outposts across the globe. Fast forward to the present and we have ways to reach anyone, anywhere, which opens up the possibility of taking the study of pyramids in brand new ways. Have telepathy experiments between pyramids or small groups working together within pyramids to enhance the merge energies of the group members. The field of study is wide open, and we look forward to helping with all the channeled information we can on the subject from our friends at Ashtar Command. In love, light, and wisdom is one, Russ and Kara.